What is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the first episode of what I don't even know this is going to be. It could be Drive Talk, it could be Road Talk, it could be TikTok. I don't know. Long story short, I wanted to start a series or just a video that you will see repeatedly where I kind of update you guys and I kind of go in like a podcast format of whatever's going on in the car world, just because I love talking, so I need to get it out of me, right? Or else I'm going to talk too much and people are going to get annoyed with me, like in my real life. Today's first episode, we are going to be in my Porsche GT4. Ideally for this series, I will be in other cars. If I'm already reviewing a certain car or I'm with a friend or something like this, we can take this wherever we want. All I'm running right now is my camera setup with a mic. Instead of giving you, oh, welcome, driven by Jordan, I don't really feel like doing an intro because today's video is really going to be more talking focused. So today's going to be talking by Jordan, you know what I'm saying? And the first thing I want to talk about is, a little R8 V10. I think that was a twin turbo car that I've seen around here. I want to talk about the market just because that's kind of been a really big topic for a lot of you guys out there who are either shopping for a car, selling a car, people who are just interested in watching the market, people who are looking to buy a house. Everything's inflated right now, and that comes along with the car market. The car market isn't just inflated because everything's inflated. The car market inflation, I know, had something to do with some sort of ECU shortage, so manufacturers weren't putting out as many cars, which were driving sticker prices to be way over MSRP, which were driving over sticker prices from a lot of dealers. I mean, if you want a 2021 or 2022 G-Wagon right now, you're literally gonna pay, depending on the spec, over $300,000. Now, if there's any one of you guys out there that spent over $300,000 on a G-Wagon, you can just unsubscribe right now. I'm kidding. But really, you're dumb. The prices right now are crazy. My girlfriend was talking about getting into a Urus potentially. The asking prices from dealers on Uruses are crazy, and because these dealer prices are so crazy, people in the used market, the secondhand market, are asking crazy prices as well. Also, if I look like a ghost in half of this video, or like I'm hiding in a tunnel, don't worry about it. I'm talking, so it doesn't really matter what I look like. This is a car channel anyway, right? We're not a traditional YouTube channel. It doesn't matter what I look like. I don't need to be handsome. I just need to be heard. But yeah, that's the market. So right now, it's definitely a seller's market. I am selling this car. I'm sure most of you guys know that. I don't need to repeat myself again. And the complicated thing is like what to buy, because if you sell a car for a lot of money just to exit and get out of the car, well then you buy another car that's inflated. Well, that defeats the entire purpose of selling in the first place. So it's like there are deals to be found. It's got to be cars that aren't being asked over sticker from dealers, which again is just pretty much hard to find anywhere. Moving on, I want to talk, we got to start Porsche because I'm the biggest Porsche guy. We got to talk the new, just infamous, because it is just so unknown and we've been waiting on it for so long, and we saw spy shots all the way as early as middle of last year, maybe early of last year. The 718, which I'm not even sure the generation's really important here, GT4 RS, probably the car that I have been the most excited about, that I am still the most excited about, and that I'd probably have the highest chance of buying. Anyone out there can get me an allocation for a GT4 RS or has any information on one, please DM me, get in contact with me. I want one. We're also going to get to the 992 GT3 RS because a lot of probably the most up-to-date leaked spy shots of that going around Nürburgring happened this week, so we got a lot of sound notes on it. Supposedly there's active aero potentially for the first time. We'll see if that goes into production. But let's start with the GT4 RS. The big question with the GT4 RS is, are they going to squeeze more power out of that 4-liter engine they're using in the 718 GT4, or for the first time ever, will Porsche put a proper GT engine in a Cayman? Now, I have high hopes that they will. From the sound of it, because we do have plenty of Nürburgring spy shots of that car, it's kind of weird. It sounds a lot more deep and throaty than what's in the 718 GT4 right now, but it doesn't sound as deep as the new 992 GT3. So I'm not sure what they're going to do there. Supposedly it's going to make over 500 horsepower. I just feel like with this whole Cayman complex thing that I'm sure you guys have heard about, where Porsche purposely holds back the Cayman so that it doesn't overrun their precious little 911s, which it would because it's mid-engine and essentially it is a better platform, a lighter car, I just think Porsche should say screw it and just do it. Like, it's not gonna piss anyone off. I don't think it's the same concept as when the 720S came out, and it was essentially a better car, not a better car, but a faster or very similarly competing car to the McLaren P1, where owners paid $1 million plus for. I don't think that putting a GT engine in the Cayman is going to piss anyone off. Will it be the best performing car to leave Porsche, aside from maybe the 2RS or maybe the 918? Yes, it will be. It will be. If they were to put a proper GT engine in the 4RS, it would outperform 90% of cars. It could potentially set a Nürburgring lap record. It would be the perfect setup. I don't know if they're going to do it. From the sound of it, my hopes are kind of low because it does just sound like a better sounding version of the 718 GT4, unfortunately, but the car's still going to be amazing. I would presume that that would be the only GT4 RS car out of the Cayman that they make, and I also have a theory that they will launch it with a manual, since they already have a manual transmission that should be able to handle that amount of power. And I don't think they're going to release, well, this is, I mean, they might, but if they don't release it in the 4RS, I would guess they're going to release it in a modern day version of the Cayman R. Just like the 911R, just like the old Cayman R. I think that would be awesome. Maybe it won't even have a wing. I don't think that they would do that, just because Caymans don't really look that good with that. I mean, they kind of do. Originally, there was talk that it was going to get released at some event in May. That didn't happen, so now I'm not really worried about it, and I guess we'll just see. The 992 GT3 is already blowing everyone away. It set a Nürburgring lap record, I think 17 seconds faster than the previous generation .2 GT3, which has got to be even a close, if not faster than the .2 GT3 RS. Again, don't mark my words on that one. GT cars have never been known to be quick in a straight line. The pretty much same NA engine that they had in the .2 GT3 to be running that quick of a time in a straight line, I think it ran a quarter mile in like 10.5 seconds, which is extremely quick. I think that's really impressive. I think the hype around this car is crazy. I think Porsche just does things that shouldn't be possible. A car with the exact same engine essentially should not be running 17 seconds quicker around Nürburgring. It just doesn't make sense. So I think people are really excited for this generation of the GT3 RS because it is going to be mind-blowingly fast. The car sounds incredible. They mentioned that there is some sort of active aero under braking that is on the rear. I'm not sure if it's on the wing or if it's like a lip like they have on, for example, the Touring. Whatever it is, the car is going to be super cool. Not a car I'm the most excited for. I'm always excited for new GT cars, but for me, like, I would go purchase a 991.1 3RS, even though they're like $9 million right now, because the market is crazy. Moving on to Mercedes AMG 1. Let's backtrack first. A little bit back, maybe 3-6 months ago, there was a audio clip of the AMG 1. Keep in mind, this car is supposedly using an F1 derived engine from Mercedes. As you guys know, Mercedes is a really big kingpin in the F1 industry. And right now, I believe it's using a 1.6 liter V6 engine with 4 electric motors. 2 powering each front wheel, 1 powering the crankshaft, and another, I think, doing some sort of like torque fill to prevent turbo lag. And the big thing with the car that everyone was talking about was they plan on it revving to like some crazy thing like 11 or 12,000 RPM. Now, it is an F1 derived engine, so that's not impossible, but with that comes so much upkeep on an engine that's supposed to be in a road car. These F1 engines cost, I've heard of, upwards of $1 million a year just to maintain. So to have that in a road car is probably what's making this car take so long. Comes with a lot of drawbacks. Supposedly, which we'll get to, there was new leaked footage of the AMG 1 about a week ago, and it seems like the car actually had a problem on Nürburgring, and then they got it going again. But backtracking to that video that leaked a while ago, the car sounded horrible, and everyone was so let down because this is supposed to be an F1 derived engine. The car is supposed to scream, and it just sounded bad. Now, in the new leaked footage, the car sounds incredible. Sounds the closest to a road-going F1 car other than Aston Martin's Valkyrie, which is supposed to be like the main competitor for that car. And there have been clips leaked of the Valkyrie recently that does sound insane. Valkyrie being, I want to say the Valkyrie is an V12, could be completely off on that, but I remember the Valkyrie being a high-revving V12, which is probably going to bring even more issues, I would think of. Now, the new footage that leaked of the AMG 1 is absolutely insane. The car sounds awesome. It looks like it is going to break the Nürburgring record currently set by the new Black Series. They will be supposedly breaking their own record, though I did hear a little bit of weird stuff that happened. Maybe some cheating-like behavior from Mercedes when they did the testing on the Black Series, but we don't need to get into that because I don't know too much on that. It looks like the AMG 1 is going to break that record by a mile. I would not be surprised if it's going to run low sixes, low to mid sixes, sub 630 around the ring. The car looks in a whole new league. The way it moves, it looks in the middle of our hypercars today and a proper F1 car. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure numbers will be leaked soon, as deliveries of that car should be coming one of these days. Moving on, the Model S Plaid has finally had some road testing getting leaked. I believe, again, Motor Trend, I know it was Jason, whatever his name is, one of the big journalists named Jason, actually got behind the wheel of one. There was a lot that Tesla was trying to have the car do that they didn't want to do. They ended up doing multiple testing on it on a drag strip. The new Model S Plaid, supposedly they got rid of the Plaid Plus because it wasn't necessary, but if Elon says that, I trust him. It ran a low 1.9 second 0 to 60, which is absolutely terrifying. I don't even want to know what that feels like. I think it ran a low 9-second quarter mile on the drag strip, and then Motor Trend did their own testing. Again, I think it's Motor Trend, where they ran on a regular road, I believe, something crazy like a 1.98 0 to 60, definitely a sub 2 0 to 60. They ran like a mid 9-second quarter mile. Supposedly the car has peak power from 80 miles an hour all the way up to its limit if you get, I think, the certain package of 200 miles an hour. The car is going to be incredible. It's going to pull on the top end like no other car. It's going to pull from a standstill like no other car. I don't even know what kind of G-forces it's going to feel like. Super impressive car. The new interior looks really good. I've never been a fan, besides when they came out, of the Model S chassis. Maybe it's because it hasn't changed drastically in like 8 years, and I think I'm just sick of it. I would personally rather have that new 3-motor setup in the Model 3 with that amount of power, but that's just me. And I think I read somewhere that the new Model S Plaid has torque vectoring, which is going to be a huge handling difference from the previous car. Another car coming out, the new 2022 Audi RS3. Europe's going to get the Sportback US. Of course, we never get besides the RS6, so I can't complain. We got the RS6, which I just did a video on that if you guys want to go check that out. The new RS3, thank God, keeps the infamous 5-cylinder from Audi that can make 9 bajillion horsepower and walk 90% of twin-turbo Huracans, which makes no sense. Absolute beast of a car. Another car that I might potentially be interested in ordering. We'll see. I've been waiting on it a while. We'll see when it comes out. We'll see where it's priced. If the Sportback came here, I would literally order it in a second. I'm a huge hatchback fan. I love the new Golf R that's coming out, but that 5-cylinder engine would be make it or break it for me. The new facelift looks really good. You get a lot of like that new RS6 styling. The lights look awesome. You actually get these new fender vents in the front fenders, kind of like they have on the Civic Type R. Looks really, really good. Stance looks wider. I think the big issue with the last RS3, other than the fact that it was an absolute missile, was that it honestly just looked like a Jetta, which was cool and not cool, depending on whatever reason you feel. It was kind of a sleeper, but it looked kind of horrible. The new ones look a lot better, less like a Jetta. Really excited for that. Another car, completely irrelevant to, I think it's been around for a little while now. I think I just discovered it and I wanted to talk about it. I posted about it on my IG the other day. The DALLARA STRADALE. DALLARA is a company that supposedly has dipped their foot in F1, has helped develop the Chiron chassis, I think, for Bugatti. they've worked with a lot of crazy cars. Supposedly they're the wizards of building chassis. They built a street, honestly it's a track car that is street legal, called the DALLARA STRADALE. It weighs 1,800 pounds, I believe. They put the Ford Focus RS engine in there, 385 horsepower. Dude, the car, it looks like a little mini McLaren. It is so cool, two-seater, no doors, but it has like butterfly windows. And I don't know. You guys know me, I'm a fan of really weird cars. Priced at, I think, around $200,000. You're getting a car that runs similar track times to a 488 Pista that can also go on the road. Pretty much an entire car made of carbon fiber. It has cup holders, which automatically means it's more daily drivable than an Alfa Romeo 4C or a Lotus Elise. Just saying. I don't know. I always think cars like that would be so cool to daily drive. Why? Because nobody in their right mind would do that. And those are the things I like to do. I've been watching a lot of videos on it. If you don't know what it is, go check it out. Pretty cool, pretty underrated. I don't think they're in the US yet. I did reach out to the company the other day to see if they plan on bringing that car to the US, but I don't feel like importing a car here on like a show and display. That doesn't sound fun. Last but not least, in these videos, I kind of want to do like an influencer spotlight where I just kind of show love to the people in this space. And today's episode, we're going to start with just people I know, just because in further episodes, I will actually go out and I will look for new creators in the space, creators I don't know about. But just to start it off, to show you guys what it's kind of going to be about, I am going to use people that I follow because that is the content I see. We got to shout out a couple people, 4 people, starting with STRADMan. That man's collection is getting incredible. As most of you guys I'm sure know, he just built a Liberty Walk Aventador, and I think in Rasa Cantus, a pinkish red color, I think an OEM old Lamborghini color, maybe a Ferrari color, I'm not exactly sure. He just built that. He already has another Aventador. He just finished Gladiator 6x6 with a Hellcat engine. And then, as if his garage wasn't cool enough, he picked up a gated manual Murcielago, one of my dream cars, in the best blue color I've ever seen, with black and maybe white or light blue, and it is a gorgeous car, and I just kind of wanted to shout him out on that. Moving on, DDE. A long time ago, on my main channel actually, I used to make car content on my main channel. I filmed a video with Damon. This is back when he had just supercharged his first Huracan with like the prototype camo. We met up for a day, we did a little collab, we did like a valet prank. It was cool. And to see how far DD has come from them, the collection they've built, the content they're making. Like when I met Damon, he had so many questions about YouTube. He had made all of his videos, he had a lot of success with the 458 Tire Slayer build they did. But to see how far they've come, absolutely awesome. I actually enjoy their content a lot. I think having the team around them is really cool. And they currently have a Carrera GT in their lineup. They're doing things other influencers are not doing. They built a Huracan Evo Aperta, pretty much a windshieldless. It's not even really an Aperta, honestly. It's honestly an SP2/1 version of the Huracan Evo. Super cool build. Shout out to them, absolutely killing it. Moving on, the one I have last is the best. Moving on, Amelia Hartford. I'm sure you guys know her. One of the leading women in the automotive industry right now, absolutely killing it. Hotter than 90% of men in the automotive industry. Just to give her a little shout out, you know what I mean? Just for killing the girl gang. I always talk about how the biggest influencer in cars, I would say as a whole, this might be controversial, is a woman. Supercar Blondie has the biggest numbers in cars. She appeals to a bigger audience because she does some stuff that may not be considered cool or right. Not that anybody has that right to say in the automotive industry, and she appeals to not only kids but adults. She's attacked all platforms. So I think for Amelia to be doing what she's doing, she is absolutely smashing it. Somebody I spend a decent amount of time with, especially when I'm in LA, to see how hard that girl works. Well deserved. Her and her team, absolutely awesome content. Now moving on, last but not least, I had to mention Alex Choi. Why? Because it's that time of year, guys. Alex Choi, I'm guessing, is about to post his first YouTube video of the year, because some of his builds are coming up I've had inside scoops. I've seen some of his builds. The Huracan's almost done. I have no idea what's happening with the McLaren. But all I know is when Alex Choi's builds are coming to an end, that means we're getting Alex Choi content. And I always give Alex a hard time because he posts once a year, but you cannot ignore the fact that he is doing the craziest builds in the automotive space. He is absolutely killing it. I can't wait for you guys to see the Huracan. I can't wait to see the McLaren. I have seen some renders. It looks insane. And whatever else Alex is buying. His McLaren just broke down. My girlfriend's on a rally with them. Supposedly Alex is looking to pick up a Fiat Abarth, so I'm very proud of him. As you guys know, I'm a big Abarth fan. I think that'd be an awesome car to finish out Gold Rush, and it would make for funny content. That's going to be the wrap of this video. I just want to get in the car. I have so many things to talk about in the car world. I do want to work on a podcast eventually, so maybe that's coming. Maybe it turns into something like this where we actually have a podcast set up in the car. I will have guests on for this little series. We'll talk about whatever's new. Let me know if you guys have anything you want me to talk about, any cars you want me to highlight, and I will see you in the next video. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you soon.